I recently picked up the Televised Terror Collection, Volume 1 from Vinegar Syndrome. This box set includes 3 made-for-TV suspense films, Are You in the House Alone?, The Calendar Girl Murders, and Child in the Night. This was actually my first viewing of these films, so let's dive right in and take a closer look. First up is Are You in the House Alone?, which originally aired in 1978. We open with our lead, Gail, beaten up and brutalized. We immediately learn that she was raped, and we flash back to the events leading up to this. Gail deals with typical teenager stuff, like dating and drama with her parents, but things take a dark turn when she starts receiving threatening notes and creepy phone calls.
Hello? Hello?
I'm getting closer.
The harassment escalates until the stalker is finally revealed. I won't spoil it here, but it was a nice surprise. Now, it's after the second act that the movie suddenly shifts gears from a horror suspense vibe to more of a drama. The film comments on the treatment of women who are sexually abused and stalked. It's an important message that, sadly, still resonates today. Now, this shift in the third act can be a little off-putting, but I was still invested in the characters and in the film. Plus, the suspense angle returns for the climax. The cast here is fantastic, with Kathleen Beller stealing the show. She really carries the film, and she's so likable that you just hate to see what happens to her. This was an early role for Dennis Quaid, and he's great here too. Interestingly enough, this film has a Halloween connection. Dennis Quaid was dating PJ Soles, who played Linda at the time. He actually had to turn down the role of Bob, her boyfriend in Halloween, because he got the role in this film. Both of these movies were filmed at virtually the same time, and there are photos of Quaid actually visiting the set of Halloween during the making of Are You in the House Alone? Pretty cool. The direction by Walter Grauman is excellent, and the movie is actually pretty creepy at times. It's all brought together by the amazing score from Charles Bernstein of Nightmare on Elm Street fame. Honestly, the score here is so fantastic that I'd love to get a soundtrack CD of this. Come on, La La Land Records, get on it. This was the movie I was most excited to watch in this set, and it did not disappoint. Up next is The Calendar Girl Murders, which originally aired in 1984. This one stars Tom Skerritt as a cop investigating a string of murders. Someone is killing the women featured in an adult calendar spread. Miss January gets it first, then Miss February, and so on. This one has a ton of familiar faces, including Sharon Stone and Alan Thicke. But most exciting, for me at least, was seeing Robert Beltran, Commander Chakotay himself from Star Trek Voyager. Everyone does a great job, and whereas the previous film was very 70s, this one is very 80s, which I just love. Death scenes are actually pretty solid for being a made-for-TV movie, but I have to say, out of the 3 films in this set, this one seems the least like a horror suspense film. Even with the slasher elements present, it still feels like more of a police drama. Now, I love 80s cop dramas, so it wasn't a huge problem for me, but more of a horror tone would have been welcome. Also, the reveal of the killer during the climax was pretty obvious, but it's still a solid little movie and definitely worth watching. But I will admit that it's probably the weakest of the 3 films included in this set. Lastly, we have Child in the Night, which first aired in 1990. This one stars a young Elijah Wood as a kid who accompanies his dad to his office late one night. All seems normal until his dad confronts someone outside and is murdered in front of the kid. This is actually pretty brutal for a made-for-TV movie. And also keep in mind that this slicker-wearing killer, armed with a hook, appeared here 7 years before I Know What You Did Last Summer. Although, to be honest, he has more of a resemblance to the Gorton's fisherman. So a detective, again played by Tom Skerritt, and a child psychologist, played by JoBeth Williams of Poltergeist fame, are on the case trying to solve the murder as more bodies soon pile up. There's some interesting stuff here, with the kid withdrawing into a fantasy world after seeing his dad killed. He equates the killer with Captain Hook from Peter Pan during his sessions with the doctor. It sounds kinda cheesy, but it works really well here. The cast of familiar faces is fantastic, and again, this movie gets away with some nice gore. And I have to say, I did not see the ending coming. I read some other reviews after watching this, and some said it was obvious, but I was genuinely surprised. The movie has a fantastic atmosphere, and it was actually filmed in my home state, which is cool. The Seattle setting is suitably moody, and it's nice seeing the locations during a time when it wasn't a filthy, crime-ridden wasteland. Seriously, have you been to Seattle lately? Very sad. But yeah, this is a great little movie that I had high hopes for, and they were met. Vinegar Syndrome has restored each film in 2K from the original 35mm camera negatives, and the results are amazing. The films look brand new, and the 70s and 80s environments really come to life. Special features are a little light, with each film including an audio essay from author Amanda Reyes. She gives some great information on each movie, and is joined by another film historian, Sam Pancake, what a name, on the Calendar Girl murders. This one actually runs for just over 80 minutes. Now, I would prefer an on-camera discussion over an audio track, but it is still good stuff. The only other feature goes to Are You in the House Alone, and is a nearly 20-minute interview with composer Charles Bernstein. He gives some great information on the score, and again, I just really love his work here. I would have liked some making of documentaries for each movie, or at least more on-camera interviews, but what we got here is still pretty solid. This release is limited to just 5,000 units, and comes in a beautiful thick cardboard box. Each film is given its own individual Blu-ray case, and brand new cover art, which is just amazing. No reversible art is included, as the TV films never had original poster art to begin with. This is yet another fantastic release from Vinegar Syndrome. The movies are solid, and I love seeing made-for-TV horror getting some love. Vinegar Syndrome has labeled this as Volume 1, and I absolutely cannot wait to see what Volume 2 brings us. Highly recommended.